The Bitcoin halving will happen just over 9 days. What has the historical data revealed about what happens during these times? Let's take a look at that on the Ujamaa Network. I'm Antoine Anderson. Let's talk about it. As an asset class, cryptocurrency in general, not just Bitcoin, has been the redheaded stepchild of the investment world, particularly because of the risk that is involved in investing in this untested, unregulated class. But as you look at the current political tensions right now and governance, a lot of the arguments against Bitcoin are kind of hypocritical when you think about how big companies want less regulation in the investment class for traditional assets like stocks, bonds, um, commodities. But when it comes to Bitcoin, we want to regulate it. It's really telling the tale of what is actually going on with investing as a whole. Bitcoin is by and large available to anyone without having to have specialized accounts, traders. Anybody can invest in it. But that anybody factor is why this class is so risky. Anyone can get in, and a lot of times, what happens is you get taken in by a lot of unscrupulous peoples with pump and dump schemes and the like. However, as a technology and as an investment class, the old saying is numbers don't lie, people do. And the numbers here just do not lie. Bitcoin over year, year after year, will give you a return on investment that far outstrips any of the other investment classes. But it is definitely not perfect. Now, over the past 10, 11 years, Bitcoin has done remarkable things, making millionaires at a faster rate than any other investment class there is ever been. But there are those albatross years where the losses far outstrip anything. It's either dead last or right on top. And that is the story of Bitcoin. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about risk. You can make a lot of money doing this, but if it's one of those years, you could be in for a very rude awakening or a very pleasant surprise. It just depends on what happens. Now, historically, during these uh, halving years, that's what's happening right now within 9 days, Bitcoin has done very well, at least on the order of 50 to 100% increases. One year was over 1,000. Now, are those 1,000% increase or returns in our near future? Hard to tell. We're not prognosticators here, but the historical data seems to suggest that this is going to be yet another good year for Bitcoin. These cycles kind of happen, ebb and flows, but as more excitement has been generated and the prospect of the mining payments going out to the actual miners are going to be cut in half yet again, this leads to a lot of speculation out there as to what the future of this asset class will be. Um, it's enough to keep most investors in the game because there's just no telling how high this current market will go. Will Bitcoin hit 100,000 this year? It's possible, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, it is that reason why Bitcoin became so attractive to me in the first place. As things were working out on my 9 to 5, and I'm trying to raise money to take part of this American dream, be a part of the investor class, and you're finding the obstacles and the barriers that prevent you from getting into this game. You're not able to raise capital as fast as our counterparts in other communities, other ethnicities. That's not to say that it hasn't been done, but it just takes so much more to get into that. And when your wages and incomes are significantly lower than those other classes, and your opportunities to access that capital via banks, or your loan rates are twice, three times, or 50 times higher than any other class. Yeah, it can be a daunting thing, even if you have the desire to. But you have to remember that with our community, there are unique challenges. Bitcoin eliminated a lot of those challenges. The biggest obstacle we have here in the African American community is convincing enough people to even learn about it. We know what it takes to open a barbershop, for instance. We know what it takes to uh, open up a hair salon and make it successful, a restaurant. We can do those things. But when it comes to that investment class, it's not a matter of know-how. It's comfort. We are comfortable doing those things. We can put our hands on those tangible things. But when it comes to that investor class, and I'm hoping that channels like this continue to let people know that it's for everybody, without the barriers that we face when we try to go to a Charles Schwab or to a uh, uh, Bank of America looking for those capital loans. They're not going to bankroll your investment aspirations. You're going to have to come up with some cash, but getting access to capital to help cover your living expenses so that you can get a return on investment is the major obstacle here. And that's where Bitcoin and cryptocurrency comes into play. You can take literally what you have in your pockets and put it in the cryptocurrency market and make something happen. That's not the case with even micro e-minis, where you may be able to raise the $500 or $600 that it would take to get into a micro e-mini contract on a major exchange. But can you afford those margin calls? Can you afford the taxation that comes with it if your investment pans out? These are big figures and things that people are just not familiar with. So we're going to try to educate as many people as we can on the nature of investing so that we all can take part of this particular thing. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments here. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks again. We'll talk to you later.